So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. And yes, we are back. We are back with some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries, man. So if you got them, pull your tinfoil hats on and put them on, man, so we can dive into some of these theories and possible truths. All right, so real quick before we get to the video, if you new, hit that subscribe button, man. Join the family. And let's run the likes up, bro. Hit that like button, all right? And we're gonna get right to this video. Let's go.
I love me some leaked government documents, and I'm sure you do too, or else you wouldn't be here, right? Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily, and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 classified NASA documents leaked by government officials. Number 10, moon.
Now the thing about it is, right, when I hear leaked, right, I'm thinking, okay, they did this without nobody knowing because they want us to have this information, right? They want us to have this. They want us to know some stuff that they've seen that they've been forbidden to tell us. So they taking a risk by getting this information to us, man. Salute to whoever leaked the documents.
NASA documents leaked by government officials. Number 10, moon landing plans. We are trying to go to the moon again, but that might not happen for a while. Revised schedules in a leaked document showed that the agency is preparing for more inevitable delays, distinguishing between baseline dates and the schedule as it stands, a canned schedule that would prioritize regular launches, and a content program that would only launch when each component of each mission is ready. Under the content schedule, the Artemis 3 mission wouldn't launch until 2026, with a rover making its way to the lunar surface not before 2032, as opposed to the currently projected 2030. But there's one problem with launching the Gateway. The rocket configuration of the agency's Space Launch System, SLS, called Block 1B, is far from ready. In fact, just the tower it's building for the launch of this SLS iteration is already way over budget and behind schedule, just like the entire SLS program. Then there's space.
Y'all know y'all about to fuel the naysayers, right? Especially the people who never really believe we've been to the moon in the first place. Oh, we're behind schedule. Oh, we're over budget is what they're gonna say. They just looking at us like we're crazy because they feel like we've never been anyway. It's all been a giant hoax.
And behind schedule, just like the entire SLS program. Then there's SpaceX's Starship, also under contract with NASA to send astronauts to the lunar surface, which appears larger and more capable than the Gateway. Now NASA is clearly still trying to establish the schedule of returning the first NASA astronauts to the moon since the early 1970s, and the dates are slipping fast. Number 9, leaked video. A leaked Navy video captured in July 2019 showed a sphere-shaped unidentified object flying over water near San Diego. The footage, obtained by a documentary filmmaker and shared with NBC News, appeared to show the mysterious object flying for a few minutes before disappearing into the water. The video was captured by a Navy aircraft and recorded in the USS Amza Combat Information Center, according to the filmmaker Jeremy Corbell. The clip appears to show a spherical object flying above the water for a few minutes near San Diego before it vanishes. It splashed, military personnel can be heard saying in the video. The Defense Department confirmed the clip was recorded by Navy personnel and said it would be reviewed by the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, a panel established to gain insight into the nature and origins of such objects.
Now I gotta ask, where's my retired Navy pilots at, right? Have y'all seen anything that looks remotely close or similar to this in the sky? I have to ask y'all. Y'all are way more experienced. Y'all have the experience. Y'all have seen a lot of things up there in the sky. Y'all ever seen anything like this? Like this? Let me go to the other one. Like this? Have y'all seen anything like that? If y'all have, then okay, cool. We'll proceed on and just keep it moving. But if not, we need y'all to speak up a little bit if you can. You know what I mean? I never want to jeopardize anybody's situation or whatever they got going on. But if you can, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, can you give us some information of, is this remotely anything familiar to you? Have you ever seen anything like this?
a panel established to gain insight into the nature and origins of such objects. Number 8. Multiple objects in the sky. Ryan Graves, a former Navy pilot who testified that he witnessed unidentified aerial phenomenon UAP with his own eyes, called on President Joe Biden to investigate the mysterious objects spotted in American airspace. Ryan, a former fighter pilot, explained that after 2014, when upgrades were made to our radar system, our squadron made a startling discovery. There were unknown objects in our airspace. And these were not just mere balloons like the Chinese spy balloon that dominated the country's attention in February. These were no mere balloons, they could hold their position, appearing motionless, despite Category 4 hurricane force winds of 120 knots. They did not have any visible means of lift or control surfaces, in other words, nothing that resembled normal aircraft with wings, flaps, or engines. These are not isolated incidents, Ryan said. We have a real UFO problem, and it's not balloons. The point is that we don't have a clear understanding of what's above our heads as we thought we did.
That's the first time I've ever heard somebody say we have a real UFO problem, meaning this is getting out of hand, meaning we've seen more than we've normally seen in the past. We have a problem, but nobody sounded the alarm yet. Everybody's still trying to cover it up. Don't that make you sit back and question why? Now, 1% of me keeps going back to this story that I heard that they've already made contact and have remained in contact with them. And I'm talking about government agencies. So when you hear we have a UFO problem, but then everything is tried to be kept on the hush hush, that makes me question a lot.
The point is that we don't have a clear understanding of what's above our heads as we thought we did. There are uncertainties up there that we have to deal with, and if we don't do it, our adversaries are going to take advantage of that uncertainty, that weakness, to spy on us with various means, as we've seen. It's pretty clear if there are things over our head that we're not sure what they are, well, we need to figure it out. If they're adversarial, it's a national security issue, we have the mechanisms for that. If it's not a security issue and it's not an adversarial platform, then it's a matter of scientific inquiry. Now, it's crazy that he was even allowed to speak on this, and to be honest, it kinda makes me scared. Number 7. ADAR. The Pentagon's new Office for Investigating Potential UFO Sightings received hundreds of new reports in 2022, and while it can explain more than half of those events, a sizable chunk remains a mystery. Within the new batch of sightings, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence say they're focusing on some 171 cases, including some in which objects appear to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities and require further analysis. Since it was formed last summer, the ADAR office has received 366 reports of unidentified aerial phenomena. That total reflects 247 new UAP reports and another 119 that occurred before March 2021, but hadn't been included in an earlier report. The new numbers indicate a step in a rise of UAP sightings. The report released in June 2021 listed just 144 reports covering a 17-year period. With the subsequent
as my grandma say, I have to ask the question, are these our last days? Why so much more down than before? I don't know. Maybe it's the times we're in. War, global warming, right? Ice is melting, causing that to go into the ocean, water to rise. Euphrates rivers drying up. Is it the time we're in? Why are we seeing such an influx of sightings all of a sudden? Gotta question that.
144 reports covering a 17-year period. With the subsequent additions, 510 UAP reports were in their files at the end of August 2022. Officials say they believe the rise in UAP reports is due to US government efforts to destigmatize the topic of UAP and instead recognize the potential risk the phenomenon poses, both as an aviation hazard and potential adversarial activity such as foreign surveillance efforts. Number 6. Secret space station. information. Back when the NASA space program was all over the news in the 60s, the USAF was simultaneously working on a more covert program. The Manned Orbiting Laboratory was a top-secret United States Air Force initiative, with the main objective being to serve as a manned satellite to spy against the Soviet Union. The shuttle never officially launched and the program was shut down in 1969. However, thanks to declassified documents, we can see how the government intended to keep a watchful eye over the Soviet Union. Number 5. Trump's
I wonder why that type of stuff is not in, what is it called, the International Space Law or something like that? Why isn't stuff like that, being able to spy on, which, don't get me wrong, I understand the need to do it and make sure we're safe and stuff like that, or we prepared, or we know what's going on. But it just makes me think, why haven't we or they sat down and discussed that as well? Just interesting thought.
Intended to keep a watchful eye over the Soviet Union. Number 5. Trump's tweet. Okay, this is kind of funny, but let me explain. There are thousands of satellites in Earth's orbit right now, and hundreds are operated by the United States military. While the public has known of their presence for years, the actual capabilities of our spy satellites were unknown until former President Donald Trump tweeted a classified image in September 2019. From the image of the exploded rocket launched in Iran, experts were quick to identify the satellite as one of the United States' KH-11 reconnaissance satellites, which, for obvious reasons, there is not a lot of known information about it. Now, this man literally posted a classified image on his Twitter, and people still think he didn't hide documents in his bathroom. Yeah, okay. Number 4. Space threats. A document leak from a Discord chat room by Jack Texiera, a member of the Massachusetts Air National Guard, spoke about space threats. The leak comes as the US Space Force enters its 3rd year of operation, and as senior Pentagon leaders sound the alarm over increased threats coming from space. Space Force General Chance Saltzman, the chief of space operations, said the Pentagon is assessing an incredibly sophisticated array of threats that include jamming of communications and GPS satellites, spacecrafts that can grapple other satellites, lasers that can dazzle them, cyber attacks, and even nesting dolls or satellites that release others that spread out and track adversaries' spacecraft. The leaked document showed Russia has also experimented with its Tobel electronic warfare system in an attempt to disrupt SpaceX Starlink satellite system. In its annual space threat assessment report, the Center for Strategic and International Studies found that China continues to make progress towards the goal of becoming the world leader in space. Over the past year, China has continued to grow its space and counter-space assets, maintaining its status as the 2nd most capable space nation after the United States. China has also developed—
That's not good. That's not good at all. And now you see why everybody's trying to establish their position in space, right? And that's why we were talking about the International Space Law and what it entails, but it needs to include a lot more, man. People are gearing up for something. Something big is about to go down. It's just hard for me to believe that everybody's just being prepared just in case. No. I feel like a lot of these people are preparing so they can go on the offensive and strike first. We better be prepared, man, and know what's going on. We constantly got to keep a step ahead. This is scary, bro.
Status as the 2nd most capable space nation after the United States. China has also developed a space station in low Earth orbit, landed a spacecraft on the far side of the moon, and a rover on Mars. It also plans to put astronauts on the moon and is targeting the lunar South Pole, where NASA's Artemis program also intends to send astronauts. China by far has the most dynamic space program of the 2 US rivals, US officials say. One of the leaked documents say China's overall military strategy to establish and maintain information dominance in conflict drives Beijing's development of space and counter-space doctrine, capabilities, and TTP or tactics, techniques, and procedures. Number 3. Navy pilots talk about UFO. Recently, 2 former Navy pilots were interviewed by 60 Minutes on CBS News about a UFO sighting over the Pacific Ocean in 2004. Commander Dave Frander and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich spotted the unidentified object during a training exercise but were unable to classify it. Dave described it as a little white tic-tac looking object, adding that it lacked conventional exhaust plumes and had no wings or visible markings. It also moved erratically, the pilot said. said. In an interview with NBC News, Dave described the 2004 encounter, calling the object the strangest, most obscure thing I've ever seen flying. As soon as we look down, we see the white water, and then we see this little white tic-tac. It's pointing north-south, and it's just going forward, back, left, right, he said, adding that it was bouncing around like a ping-pong ball. Dave said he approached the mysterious object to take a closer look, and it began mirroring his movements. Then when the pilot got within a half a mile of the UFO, it suddenly vanished. Again, I'm shocked that they were even allowed to speak about this at all. Number 2, Project.
What makes you think they speak? What reason are they speaking about it now? Or forget even that, bro. This tic-tac object that can mirror our moves. Are we prepared for the type of technology that these UAPs have? Are we? Bro, something that could mirror your moves? That's just probably one of the million things that it could do. Probably disappear, go invisible.
Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was the code name for the systematic study of unidentified flying objects by the United States Air Force from March 1952 to its termination on December 17, 1969. The project, headquartered at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio, was initially directed by Captain Edward J. Ruppelt. Project Blue Book had 2 goals: to determine if UFOs were a threat to national security and to scientifically analyze UFO-related data. Thousands of UFO reports were collected and
not if they exist, if they're a threat. You peep that, right?
And to scientifically analyze UFO-related data. Thousands of UFO reports were collected, analyzed, and filed. As a result of the Condon Report, which concluded the study of UFOs was unlikely to yield major scientific discoveries, and a review of the report by the National Academy of Sciences, Project Blue Book was terminated in 1969. The Air Force supplies the following summary of its investigations. No UFO reported, investigated, and evaluated by the Air Force was ever an indication of a threat to our national security. There was no evidence submitted or discovered by the Air Force that sightings categorized as unidentified represented technological developments or principles beyond the range of modern scientific knowledge, and there was no evidence indicating that the sightings categorized as unidentified were extraterrestrial vehicles. By the time Project Blue Book ended, it had collected 12,618 UFO reports and concluded that most of them were misidentifications of natural phenomena, clouds, stars, etc., or conventional aircraft, which is kinda lame. And coming in at number 1 is,
what if, and this is something I was thinking about, right? What if it's kind of like the Independence movie? What if we have something of theirs and they're searching for it? What if our government has one of theirs, one of them, and we have it in a facility somewhere and they're here trying to find it to take back their brother or sister, take them back home. And that's why we keep seeing them. And they've been trying to do it discreetly, but the longer it takes or the longer it goes, it may eventually become more violent. What if that's the case? Going to watch Independence Day.
Is Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Among some of the Pentagon's most secretive programs is the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. The program was dedicated to investigate reports of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, but for years it was never formally acknowledged by the Department of Defense. The program was first made public on December 16, 2017. The program began in 2007 with funding of $22 million over 5 years until it ended in 2012. The program began in the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, and according to the Department of Defense, the AATIP ended in 2012 after 5 years. However, reporting suggests that the U.S. government programs to investigate UFOs continued. The agency claims they stopped receiving funds in 2012, however, many believe it continues to operate to this day. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 classified NASA documents leaked by government officials. Did you know about any of these documents? Let us know in the comments down below, and hey, why not like and subscribe while you're down there?
I'm seriously thinking, man, that could be one of the things that's going on. We may have one of theirs and they know we have it, they just don't know where. And we need to give it back if that's the case. I mean, y'all laughing and looking at me like I'm crazy, but listen, man, they don't make movies. I was always told they don't make movies that's things that aren't somewhat true. Gotta come from a true place somewhere. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, man, what do y'all feel about these classified NASA documents that have been leaked by government officials? Do you believe in that type of stuff? Or do you think that's just all smoke and mirrors? Y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know. Stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.